Okay, we are live. I've got to disable just a second, guys. Hello, hello, hello. Just a minute. I've got to make sure this is off. I think the audio is going to blow up in a minute. Hold on, hold on. Making sure. Huh? I thought this audio was on somewhere. No? Don't I have this open somewhere? Pretty sure this is open somewhere. Ah, yeah, there we go. It is open. Okay. Hey, guys, it's Victor. Give me a break, man. But today I'm the king of the morons. Good to see you all. I miss you. I miss you. I miss making videos on here. It's been a while. But yeah, doing well. Let's say hello to the people who are coming in for the first time. Yeah, what do we got here? What do we got? Got 8 people watching. Okay, well, that's something. Seems more people jump on Give Me a Break, man. Huh? Oh, you know what I did not do is I have not actually put this on my own channel. So we will be studying a little Japanese today, but I'll also be talking to you about just what's happening in the world. You know, that's a lot happening there. Let me share this on my community. Live now. Live now, community. Give me a second to just let people in. Some kind of a problem with YouTube. And we were not. There's some glitch today, and we could not share anything for some reason for a few minutes. It seems to be okay now, though. Let's see. Live now. Okay. All right. How you doing? Gabby Oriba, Odie Jr., always good to see you. Rai Al Ghul, you guys are cool. Making music. Hey, J-Mac, good vibes. Thank you. Chill what? You're doing, I guess, I'm assuming from those symbols that you were doing, just a second. Some kind, oh yes, they are emojis that are not showing up on one of my screens here. I got 2 screens going. Maybe I should flip that screen over here. Yeah, I'll flip that screen over here. So we have 2 screens over here. Okay, good. Well, you know, a lot's happening all over the world. Oh, I made a list. I don't even know where to start, though. So much to talk about. How many people are interested in learning Japanese? Let's see. Well, you know what? I got to tell you, Japan is pretty shocked. All of this is on the news every day, and everyone knows about the Bodo, the riots that are happening. And I've had some students tell me that they think, you know, honestly, some of them. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the most important thing. Let me. This show is sponsored by Strong Zero. No, it's not. I wish it were. It could be dangerous, though. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. I like that. How's this mic, by the way? Is the sound okay? I'm using this microphone. Is it good? How is it? I'm not listening. I guess I could turn it on and see how it's doing, but let me turn on the sound for a second. Hello? Oh, the delay is very good. This sounds pretty okay, huh? Yeah. BJNY. You don't know what I think. People always assume what I think. I know it's not everywhere. There's like 430 cities around the country, around the world that are doing it, but I know there are protests. Most of the protests and demonstrations are peaceful, but of course that's not going to be on TV. As you think, people always assume that I only watch CNN and I don't know what else. New York Times. I got to tell you though, I did recently finally subscribe to the New York Times because I feel like it's important to support the press in some way. You know, it's a shame that the press is forced to create, and not just New York Times, but all press is forced to create clickbait articles to get you to click on them, or they're going to go out of business. So it's ultimately our fault for being shallow idiots. Okay, BJ and I. Is this the old BJ from back in the days of YouTube, or maybe another BJ? And why do you pick that name, BJ and I? I would have avoided that name. Okay, let's get some stuff down that I want to talk about. What's happening in the present Japan? Well, Japan has shown us. They've shown just today. They showed us the Black Lives Matter was painted onto the street leading up to the White House. Okay. They've also shown President Trump saying, "I think Floyd is a happy man today, looking down on us. He must be. It's a happy day for Floyd." Which, I mean, I don't know how you can defend that. See, here's the thing about Obama and Trump, and I am going to teach some Japanese. So if you're really in a hurry, then leave comments. I'll react to your comments if you want to talk about Japanese. Gabi Yoriba Saiko. I didn't support everything Obama said, and a lot of people who liked Obama didn't agree with everything. One of the biggest failures, of course, of Obama was he had quite a few failures, but Guantanamo Bay, promising to close that, never closed that. But he talked about it. He said, it was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. And another difference between Trump and the media, because there is fake news out there, but I don't think it's fake news. I think it's mistaken news, and I think it's some of it's okay, some of it's fake, but I mean it's a minute amount. And when they do make mistakes, they do print retractions all the time. I mean, newspapers are known for printing retractions or when they make a mistake. But I've never seen Trump, claim a retraction. But speaking of retractions, one of the most interesting things that I've seen in a long time was the fact that the NFL, Roger Goodall from the NFL, admitted that they were wrong, which I was just shocked at, because from what I understand, they're pretty tight with Trump, and they agreed that protesters should not kneel during the national anthem. But for them to come out and say, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a pretty sure, yeah. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a pretty strong little speech that the NFL, I guess what is it, the NFL head, whatever you call him, says. He says, "Machigaimashita, we made a mistake," and now they're supporting free speech. And another turnaround was what's her name? I forgot her name, but the annoying woman on Fox who told basketball players just shut up and dribble. Apparently, some white football. I don't know. I'm not a big football fan, but quarterback said he's against anyone kneeling, disrespecting the flag. And she said he has a right to talk, and everybody has a right to talk. Now we should all just talk. Of course, she didn't say specifically that she was wrong about the basketball players talking, but now that she's said that, kind of let the cat out of the bag. You can't really go back on that. So let's see. People were hoping for some non-politician shut up. Yeah, Ingram. Thank you, Ingram. Laura Ingram. Laura Ingram. I forgot, but who I've always thought was an idiot, but baka. Anyway, and another thing that I thought was amazing, because I was just thinking this myself. I was watching Seth, what's his name? Not Seth Rogen, Seth Meyers, who I'm not a big fan of, because I feel like he's too petty with his criticism of Trump. And you don't have to be that petty. Trump gives you so much material to work with. You don't have to be that petty. 細かいこととか、細かい means very detailed. In this case, petty in Japanese is tsumaranai. But tsumaranai is tricky for us because tsumaranai also means boring. So in this case, I think they would still say tsumaranai. Tsumaranai koto de okoru. Wazukana. Yeah, maybe that's it. Okay, wazukana. Wazukana is something small. Let's just put that up there. Wazukana koto de okoru. She gets angry over unimportant things, petty things. Let's do that one. Okay. Anyway, well, is that who I was talking about? No, Seth Meyers also. Seth Meyers also gets he's repetitive, he's redundant, and he gets petty. He nails Trump's on what is this not working on. Okay, there we are. I'm back. Am I back? Am I back? Yes. Sorry about that. Whoops. Sorry about that. But I was thinking, I was watching the Seth Meyers show, and he has a really funny black girl. Is it okay to say black? On the show. What did I? 99 says what? Name? What's her name? Amber Ruffin. Yeah, Amber Ruffin says what? So there's a great. Well, actually, I can show you. Well, I'm not going to show you, but there's no point. Well, I can show you a little bit, I guess. How do I share my screen here? Just a second, please. I can share screen application. This one. Okay, this is Amber Ruffin, and she talks about her run-ins with the police quite a few times. And I was watching here, and I've always liked her. I've always thought she's clever and funny, and she looks like she has fun. You know, Seth Meyers seems a little bit bitter to me, but I like also Trevor Noah, because I feel like they're enjoying themselves, and they give it to the Democrats as well. But anyway, Amber Ruffin was talking about her experiences with the police, and I was thinking, you know what? Hey, Daniel. How you doing, Nico? I was thinking Seth Meyers should resign and give his show to a black person. But then I was thinking, of course, that they're never going to do that. You can't just give it for no reason. You've got to give it to someone who deserves it and who gets the ratings. But that's one of the problems, is that you'd have to find someone really popular to make it work. You know, it can't just be any black guy. And if they gave it to, or black woman, but if they gave it to a black person, of course, half the people would, not some people, but many people would be very vocal about how it was only given to them because they're black, right? And it's this is reverse racism, reverse discrimination, that kind of stuff. How do you say reverse discrimination in Japanese? That's something I don't know. Reverse. So jinshu sabetsu is discrimination. Reverse gyaku maybe. Gyaku is reverse. Is that that doesn't exist. There's nothing in the dictionary. It is. Hold on. Reverse discrimination. Yeah, it does exist. Yeah, gyaku sabetsu. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Gyaku sabetsu. This is reverse discrimination. Actually, Obama could do it probably. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see him do that. But it'd be kind of like, okay, you were the president, now you're just a talk show host. I think people give him shit for like going down that road. There we go. There's some Japanese for you. Gyaku sabetsu, reverse discrimination. If they gave it to Obama, maybe that wouldn't be, but it still wouldn't make the president look good. Anyway, I was thinking about how if America really wanted to change, they have got to do some things like give more power to blacks, like they do in movies, right? In the movies, the police chief is always black, like in Lethal Weapons. You know, they're always, you guys are always causing problems, kind of shit. Kanye, oh my God, I cannot stand Kanye. Well, you know what? I would watch it like a trash fire, but I'm sure it would just be terrible. He wouldn't let his guests talk. He would just have them blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's one thing. But the other thing I wanted to tell you was, hold on. Oh, yeah. So as I was thinking this, today I read that Reddit's co-founder, check this out. Maybe I can show you the screen. Where's the screen? Let's go to this screen here. Let me add another screen. Where do this? Stop screen. Okay, share screen. Here we go. Let's add this screen. Can you see this? Look at this. Reddit co-founder says a black board member should replace him. Now, the guy who owns Reddit, or what, I don't know if it owns it. No, one of the co-founders, Alex Ohanian. I don't know who. I didn't know this, but he is married to Serena Williams, who's black, right? And he was saying, he did a little video, and he said he's resigning and he wants Reddit to replace him with a black person because someday his daughter, who is black, is going to wake up or is going to ask him, "What did you do to help things?" Right? Rock phonic. That's funny. You know, his daughter, his black daughter, is going to ask him, "What did you do to help the problem?" And he's going to be able to say, you know, I quit my job and I gave it to a black person, put a black person in power. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, I'm a big I've been kind of crazy about Reddit recently, just scrolling through it. But yeah, enjoy that. Even though it's not really social, but I feel like I got more of a pulse on the world and what's happening all over the world. Anyway, finger on the pulse. That's it. Finger on the pulse. I got a finger on the pulse. Yeah. Let's see. How do you say that in Japanese? にして、実情に確認をしている. Yeah, you know what's really happening. Yeah, that's jitsujo. So here's some Japanese for you. Ready? I'll scatter these throughout the video today. This is jitsujoを正確にして逆差別なのよ. Oh, I don't know about that. 実情を正確にしている. So let's put these together. Okay? That's how you pronounce it, by the way. And in the middle of that, you have, what is that? Akuya? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. That's haku. Forget that. This is ha'aku, by the way. And this means grasp. For those of you studying Japanese. Okay. If Michael Jackson were alive, he would keep everyone happy. I don't know about that. So anyway, I'm impressed that the Reddit founder has quit, right? Iron free. No, they haven't. But it's still it's still a black person getting killed by a white person. So my wife asked me today, she said, what if the guy were white? The guy killed. I said, well, he wasn't. She goes, I know, but what if? I said, I honestly don't know. If a white person were killed by a cop, how many whites are killed by police? That's one of the first top searches. Look at that. Not my search, but by race. Okay. In 2020, by race, whites are, well, you know, it must be more because there's just more white people, right? Let me see. Blacks, so it's almost double. 450. But see, that's what's fucked up. 400 and what is this? Okay, 2020. No. 100. Oh, it's down all over. Look at that. In 20. Well, let me just show you though. Let's just look at this together. Let's look at this together and learn a little bit about society and life. Okay, here is the statistics I'm looking at now. Number of people shot to death by police in the United States from 2017 to 2020 by race, okay? So on the left here, you guys see that? On the left there, we've got the blue is 2017, the black is 2018, the gray is 2019, and the red is 2020. And as you can see, it's gone quite well. 2020 is we're only 6 months in, so that makes sense. So let's look at last year. maybe that's more important. 370 last year for whites and 235 for blacks. Now, why is that significantly still high considering that there are only 20% of America is black? There was no racial motive. My party is private. You do not know that. I've got a theory about this whole thing. These riots are kind of a culmination of a perfect storm. And I'll explain this. There was the black girl, I think it was back in February, who was shot when the police broke into this couple's apartment by accident. They busted into the apartment doing a drug raid, and it was the wrong apartment, and they were sleeping. Hey, Ninja Monkey, I just noticed. And they started shooting, and they killed. Just a minute. Let me unarmed. Where is that? We'll get to you. My party is private in a second. Also, drop links or send me links if you can. If you can't send me links there, you can send me links here. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Sorry. So let me explain the perfect storm. First of all, we've got coronavirus. So everyone's stuck inside. They're frustrated, they're stressed. People are losing jobs. A lot of pressure, a lot of stress. Then you have these black woman who was killed when cops busted into her apartment and then arrested her boyfriend and killed her. The cops arrested her boyfriend, killed her. Completely wrong. They were completely innocent. That's number one. Number two, well, coronavirus. Then you got people losing jobs. That's another factor. Three. Then you had the guy who was jogging, and the two whites stopped him and shot him. And it turns out we just learned today that one of the guys who shot him, yelled the N-word after or during or after the crime or the killing. Then you got George Floyd on top of this, right? And the police are not charged at all when it's pretty clear, that he heard that that was wrong, right? So you said it wasn't racial, okay? Well, why wasn't he charged? Don't you think he would have been charged if he had been white? And the other thing is the people saying it's not racial. I bet you, my party is private. I'm pretty sure you're white. And you don't get it. This stuff happens all the time. But we don't know it's not racial. I mean, it's possible the guy was just a super asshole, but shouldn't he still have been charged? Shouldn't he still go to jail? Why wasn't he? Now, you got a link. U.S. police is ultraviolet. She was killed in March. Her birthday was yesterday. Okay, Brianna, yes, March. I thought it was February. Okay. Crime is more prevalent depending on race, Alex. Blacks have the most crime, and they suffer the most from crime. So it's both. Hold on. Well, let me look at this. Do we have any stats on unarmed? Let me see. Unarmed blacks killed by police. Let's see. Well, in 2015, it was 100 people. Let's see. I don't know. It doesn't excuse. The problem with this conversation is that we're looking at this as statistics, and these are real people. These are people who died, right? It's the Washington Post. So just because the Washington Post does not like Trump doesn't mean that what they say is not true. It's still a pretty damn respected paper. They brought down Watergate, right? Google Scholar. Okay. Google Scholar. There we go. Right. Okay. Number of unarmed civilians. What that? Killed by police. Let's say law enforcement. Do I have to speak like a scholar? This is 2015. But this is only supporting that blacks, there's a bias. Further evidence of implicit bias. There we go. So, okay, by the Washington Post. Okay, so you're not going to believe anything the Washington Post says. The results indicated that civilians from other minority groups were significantly more likely than whites to have not been attacking the officers or civilians. Huh? See? And that black civilians were more than twice as likely as white civilians to have been unarmed. So black civilians are usually unarmed and usually not attacking the officers. There you go. Yeah, they do have more encounters with police, but the question is why? You might be making reverse correlations. Amber, one of the biggest problems with humans is that we tend to give more importance to anecdotal evidence than scientific evidence. So most of us who are not black have very little anecdotal evidence to influence us, right? Almost none. And as far as we're concerned, police are fine. They've only helped us. So we don't see what they see because we're not black. More criminality and more poverty. Where does criminality come from? Oh yeah, so I want to explain something else to you. Let's go back to the perfect storm thing, right? We had coronavirus, we had job loss and pressure of being at home all the time, right? A lot of stress. We had the jogger getting killed, the black woman in March getting killed, Breonna, and we had George Floyd getting killed. Okay, all this stuff is happening. All right, to blacks, and before that, there's a history of this all their lives, right? Even little things like Colin Kaepernick not getting any respect for doing something, right? Okay, we got all that together, and it creates a perfect situation for people to say, "Fuck it, I'm going out. I'm gonna protest." And in some cities, a few cities, it's become quite violent, and we've got the riots, right? So I was talking to my Japanese students about this, and they said their initial opinion was Japanese people are more moral, and it would never occur to them to riot or destroy things. It's just wrong, and they know that, right? But the other difference is that they are employed. They have a fairly safe economic situation for most Japanese. Most Japanese, even if they're fairly wealthy, consider themselves to be middle class. But in America, when you have so much poverty comparatively, right, people have nothing to lose. And they have no jobs. Where are they going to go tomorrow? Fuck it, let's just riot. Let's just protest first, and that anger turns to riot because of the situation. Now, Iron Free, you're sounding. That's what you do. More criminality. That's what you do when you say it's racist. You have to stay objective. Yeah. So Iron Free. Yeah. Why do they have more encounters with police? Is it because the police are racist? Is it because there are more criminals, statistically speaking? And if so, why? Why are there more black criminals than white criminals? If you think that's true, I think one of the problems is poverty and reduced opportunity. If the economic situation is good, there's no reason for people to. Well, generally people are lazy. Okay, that's fine. That's my theory on everything, by the way, including language. Language always takes the path of least resistance. So that is why we say wanna, gonna, shoulda, coulda, gimme, lemme, what do you want? All these expressions. Gee yet, all these expressions that are lazy because no one wants to pronounce properly, and that exists in every single language, which is why language is difficult to hear sometimes. Okay, the Washington Post link shows 15 deaths of unarmed blacks nationwide in 2019. What about whites? Some people replace objectivity with stubbornness and don't realize it. Yeah. I personally love to be proven wrong if someone can prove it. You learn something. I'm not married to opinions. Let's see. How many unarmed whites killed? But you know, it's an interesting question because you're right. Let's play devil's advocate, and let's say that devil's advocate. Okay, let's say that more blacks there are more criminals in the black community than there are in the white community. Okay, let's just say that, and let's say that more, and that's why police encounter them. But if they're unarmed, they still shouldn't be killed. It still doesn't excuse killing them, right? What's this? This one here? Can you look it up? Where can you look it up? Let's see. George Floyd's death in Minneapolis has revived the Obama-era narrative that law enforcement was endemically racist. On Friday, Barack Obama tweeted that for Muslim Americans. It's a new normal. You have to subscribe. I got to pay for this. Well, you can look up whites in the Washington Post link. I cannot. Do U.S. police have racist policies? There was a story that came out, back to Rockphonic. There was a story that came out today, I heard. I forget which city, but apparently some sheriff told all of his deputies, say, let's make it a black day. Let's make the jail a little more colorful. Oh, you know where I saw that? No, I'm sorry. That's from the John Oliver show, and that's 4 years old. But it does happen. Police say shit like that. What Washington Post link is he talking about? I don't know what Washington Post link he's talking about. This one? It's a link right here. Okay. There it is. I don't see that. Whites killed by police. Yeah, I don't see anything. Somebody look it up and just send me the link. On account I'm having difficulty because I'm trying to drink alcohol, teach Japanese, and juggle these different questions at the same time. The one in the chat I posted, I don't see any quote in the chat. Hold on. I don't see any quote. I don't see any chat. I'll show. Alex said something interesting. He said historically they have less education, so family values are weak. I saw an interesting study years ago. I don't know how accurate it is, but when there were when they were slaves, they were kept as they actually clung to the family set more stridently than after they were freed, because after they were freed, they could just leave. I heard, I don't know if that's true. So yeah, so there's some white racists or white nationalists who say, oh, see, slavery was good for them because it made them stay a family, right? When they were slaves, they were forced to be together, so they had more family values then. I don't know. I think economic stress, though, does tear a family apart. If the economy is good and everyone has a good job and they can support their family, I think, generally speaking, people will stay together. So that has a lot to do with it. The one in the chat I posted. I don't know what chat. My party is private. What? I don't see any links. Oh, hold on. Oh, here's a link. My party is private. It's the Washington Post. There's no link here. Look at my link. Did you send it to me? Maybe that's what. Hold on. I'm checking my Gmail. Just a minute. No, I have no links. Nobody sent me links. I don't know where your link is. Sorry. Okay, Washington Post database of fatal shootings. Okay, looking that up. I'll just look that up there. Police shooting database 2020. Okay, 2015, 2020. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's 2015. In 2015, the Washington Post began to log every fatal shooting by an on-duty police officer in the United States. In that time, there have been more than 5,000 such shootings. Okay. This is after 2014 because of Michael Brown. I remember that. Wow. Rates of shooting in the city. Look at that. Whoa. Just continues, huh? Black Americans are killed at a much higher rate than white Americans. There we go. Although half of the people shot and killed by police are white, Black Americans are shot at a that's important, disproportional rate, because the population, the Black population, is much smaller. They account for really 13% of the U.S. population. I did not know that. I thought it was more. I thought it was 16 or 17. There you go. So, filter by race, year, and armed status. Okay. Oh, Florida, New York City, California, right? Okay. Filter by. Okay. Let's see. Race. Let's say whites. Okay. What did you say? Weapons. Unarmed. Okay. And year, let's go 2020. Where they go, 10 people shot and killed by police, match your filters. That's 2020 white. Let's change this to black. 6 people, it says. I just did 2020. And just so 10 people compared to 6 people, that's still too much. Since blacks are only 13%. But, it's still too much. It doesn't matter. They're unarmed. White people, black people, they're unarmed. They shouldn't be killed at all. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're trying to... What my party is private. What is your theory? Or what is your opinion? What are you trying to say? That it's not racist? There shouldn't be riots? I don't know. The riots, though, it is troubling. I mean, they're destroying their own communities. And I think it's pretty logical to say, that's not helping. But no one's saying that because, we're not black. So, I mean, I'm not black, so I can't really say, hey, don't riot in your own neighborhood and destroy your own black-owned businesses. That's just stupid. But for years, people have told black people to, hey, don't take it so hard, or don't, just take it in stride. Let me see. Violent riots are, of course, not good or productive, but they're not unjustified. Very good on account. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, here's the thing. My party is private. They tried taking things in stride. They tried kneeling peacefully at football games. And nobody would even accept that. Colin Kaepernick couldn't get a job after that, which is ridiculous. You got to admit, that's ridiculous. Ninja Monkey, yeah. The whole world is joining him. Anyway. It's a fucked up thing that's happening. I want to show you some other weird shit, though, okay? That's been happening. I've been collecting a few things. So let me just show you in a minute. Not this. I started studying manga or anime for the first time. I've never been a big anime fan, though I'm a big cartoon fan and a big comic book fan, but not anime. I've never been into anime. But I recently thought, well, I should... It's on Netflix. Like, it's easily accessible now, so let's check it out. I found something. Well, let's take a quick time out for those of you who are actually interested in Japanese. Excuse me. Burp, burp, burp. Let me pause for a second. Just a minute. I'm going to show you some quick Japanese lessons, okay? It'll be very quick. It's very short, so bear with me. And I'm going to show you just a little bit here. And I'll put this in the description as well. Okay, so here we go. A couple basic stuff that I covered in previous videos, okay? When someone is arrested, we say taihou suru. Taihou suru. A demonstration in Japanese is demo, so it's very easy. The police in Japanese is keisatsu. Keisatsu. And police brutality is keisatsu no boryoku. I'll put this here. Keisatsu no boryoku. Or you could also say keisatsu ni yoru no boryoku. That's also okay. That's police brutality. If you look it up in the dictionary, they come up with these other things that nobody really uses. This is more common. The weird thing about boryoku is that it just refers to violence. Yeah, I've heard that in my private party. A lot of people are dying. Just a minute, my private party. I'm going to get back to you in a minute. Let me just go through this a little bit. Okay? This is very short. So I was thinking about what do we want to be able to say in English? What do we want to be able to say in Japanese that's happening in America? One of them is things like this, keisatsu ni yoru boryoku. The other one is kokujin no inochi wa taisatsu. And this is basically Black Lives Matter. Now, I had a discussion with Japanese Maggie Sensei. Black Lives Matter. I had a discussion with Maggie Sensei about this. Which one is correct? Is it kokujin no inochi wa taisatsu? Inochi means life. Kokujin means black. Inochi means life. Taisatsu means important. So Black Lives Matter is basically saying Black lives are important. That's the first one. Black lives are important. So the literal translation is, Black lives are important. And the second one, literal translation is not Black Lives Matter, but Black lives are also important, because it says kokujin no inochi mo. Mo means also. Also, don't shoot. Utsu is shoot. Don't shoot. Utsuna, I guess. Utsuna. I'm not sure about this, but maybe there's a more slang way to say it. But utsu, this is to shoot. Okay. I think, I'm looking it up now. Bang, beat, strike, wang. I don't see the word shoot, though. Maybe you need to put ju, like which means gun, like shoot a gun. Oh yeah, Jew. Jew. Oh, I'm sorry, different kanji, of course. It's also utsu, but it's a different kanji. They have a different kanji. I completely forgot that. Yeah, there's a different kanji there. It's you can't see it yet. This one. This kanji. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. This utsu. Okay. This is also utsu. So if you want to say don't shoot, here's a very cool Japanese, very shortcut to Japanese. Okay, take any single verb, no matter what it is, and just add na to the root verb. So if you say in this case utsuna, hiragana, but it's the same thing. Utsuna. If you're confused by it, I'll just show you. Hiragana for utsuna. No, not that one. There. You can write it this way or that way. This is the kanji over here, utsuna. This hiragana, utsuna. And in English, utsuna. And adding na to any Japanese verb means don't do that. And it's very strong. But don't you. Utsuna! Utsunayo! Utsunayo. Okay? There you go. So going back to this Black Lives Matter thing, here's the problem, and this happens to American people as well. And to me as well, actually, I'll be completely honest. When I first heard the expression Black Lives Matter, my initial reaction was, well, white lives matter, Hispanic lives matter, everybody's life matters. That's kind of a strange thing to say. So I kind of thought that was kind of stupid, to be honest. But since then, I realized that it's kind of dumb for me to say that because, just a minute, the point of having to say Black Lives Matter is the fact that you have to say it because so many blacks, or whether so many black, let's just say it this way, whether it's true or whether you agree or not, at the very least we can agree that blacks perceive that they're being killed more than white people. And yes, just a minute, profile, yes. And I want to show you something. This is something pretty cool that I saw from Dick Laughlin, who's a very, very, some would say annoying comedian. I'm going to show you something very cool that he wrote a while ago. How do I do this? Stop sharing. Where's the share button? Where's my share? How come my share button's not appearing here? I cannot find my share button. It's gone. What happened to it? Oh, there it is. Okay, share. Okay. Check this out. This is from Dick Laughlin, the comedian's Twitter account. Can I get this bigger? Can I get it bigger? That's it. Okay. If you're one of those people who insists on responding to Black Lives Matter posts by saying, I think all lives matter, let me ask you a few questions. If you think all lives matter, then why didn't you or anybody else start saying it until people started saying Black Lives Matter? Why do you think that the phrase Black Lives Matters implies that non-Black lives do not? And this is something a lot of people have said. They think, oh, you think white lives don't matter when you say Black Lives Matter. And for some bizarre reason, I had the same impression. Okay, everybody agrees. Well, no, not everybody agrees that. I'll get back to that in a minute. When you say Black Lives Matter, some people think that you're saying that Black Lives Matter more. But that's not true. Why do you think that Black Lives Matter implies that non-Black lives do not? Do you also assume that animal rights activists are against the rights of human beings? Good point. Do you think that suffragettes, these are people who support the right of women to vote, was against the rights of men? Do you think that LGBT rights activists are anti-heterosexual people's rights? You see what I'm saying? And finally, don't you think it's concerning that All Lives Matter has been adopted by so many far-right racists and white supremacist groups, all of whom believe that Black lives don't matter? And I thought this was a pretty thoughtful response, and something that I had to figure out myself. as well. So, for example, the police did not get this, and they started a group called Blue Lives Matter, which is really not the point. Of course, everyone agrees that. Eugene, let's go back a little bit. Eugene Yo, hi Victor, are these protests affecting Japan at all? No. But it has reaffirmed their perception of Americans as basically violent people. So, a couple of my students have said, wow, Americans are immoral. They don't know how to control themselves, right? Things like that. And I gotta half agree. Like this stuff, I'm walking around my neighborhood this morning with my kids, and we saw some really cool bicycles out in front of a house. Minimal locks. They're not locked to anything. They're just locked up, but not locked to anything. In America, you would just get your truck and go by. You'd come by with a truck and just throw the bicycles in the truck and steal them. Things are unlocked. If you walk in the middle of town where all the bars are, right behind the bars, there are tons of cases of beer that are just left out because the bar is going to they'll open the door and go outside and bring the beer in, right? So if you wanted to, you could steal so many things in Japan, but people don't. People don't steal here. One of the reasons is that everyone's basically the same level. Well, not really, but they feel that. So that's important. The perception of feeling that you're part of the same group, that you don't really have more or less than other people helps. Let me see. Funky Kitsune says, I know chikara means power, strength. Kanji begana. Yes, that's true. So, what are you talking about? Taisetsu. Where did you find that? Bodoku? Taisetsu? Bodoku, yeah. It means power. Bo means violence, so it means violent power. Yeah, but violence, education has a lot to do with it. I used to think education was everything, but now I think it's more your economic situation. Let me see. These protests are not affecting Japan at all, but there are protests. There were protests today, completely peaceful protests in Osaka. And there was something in Japan like last week. I couldn't really find the story on it. There's a Kurdish man from Turkey, I believe, who's been here like 15 years, and he was arrested violently, and they hurt his neck. It was like two Japanese guys, police officers, tackled him, and he was hurt a little bit, and they think it's kind of a big deal, but it really comparatively is not. Now, let me talk to you about something else. First of all, let's go back to this. There's one more new word I want to teach you. That's a hard one, but could be useful. Right? Asphyxiation. Where's the share screen? There we go. This is the last one. You see that? It says chisoku sasite. Chisoku sasita. Asphyxiated, I suppose, in that case. He was asphyxiated. Let's look at asphyxiated. Yeah, there we go. So the George Floyd was asphyxiated. You said you cannot comment on black problems. Who are you talking to? Until you are black, you can never really understand the black condition. You can comment on it, but it's always you're always kind of imagining. You don't really know how accurate that is. Autoerotic asphyxiated? Yeah. I don't know. I grew up Hispanic in America. For some reason, as I've gotten older, I've gotten whiter looking. But when I was younger, I looked more like a Mexican or a Puerto Rican or a Cuban, depending on what state I was in. And I would often get these questions like, where are you really from? Or do you speak English? Things like that. And even though I have no accent, people would I mean, I came to America when I was 1 year old. Okay, I have no accent. I have a Gaijin accent. I have a gringo accent when I speak Spanish. Todavía hablo español, pero cuando hablo mucho, la gente con quien estoy hablando saben que yo soy un gringo. Okay, so when I speak Spanish too long, people start realizing, hey, this guy's kind of a gringo. His Spanish is a little weird. Even at my best, when I was traveling South America, I spent a year traveling Central and South America, backpacking. And every country I would go to, they always thought I was from the next country over. They never thought, they knew I wasn't a native, but they also didn't think I was a Gaijin, completely un-American. Anyway, anyone who understands why the BLM movement would understand why it's not about saying only Blacks Matter, yeah. Yeah, but you know what? They did a bad job explaining it, I think, to be honest. But, it isn't their job to have to explain things to Whitey either. I think Whitey's a bigger insult than cracker, don't you think? Anyone who, let me see, good Spanish, thank you. Oh, my Spanish has an Andalusian accent. Well, your English is excellent. Let me go back a little bit to some of your comments. All Lives Matter account. I saw an interesting comment the other day from someone I actually don't like very much, but they said, that's bullshit. No lives matter. Because if lives really matter, we would have banned the gun. We would make car accidents cause a lot of death. We would work on that more than we do. We don't really work on that too much. When we lower the speed limit, we make people wear seatbelts, but we could lower the speed limit a little bit more, especially in places like America. There's some states where there's no speed, like I think Montana or something, it was like 85 or something. But everyone knows that when you lower the speed limit, you decrease the deaths, right? Or we could actually make car manufacturers make it impossible for your car to go over 60. We could do that, but we don't. And a lot of people talk about freedom, but really, freedom to speed, is that really a freedom? Do we really need the freedom to go 80 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour down the street? I don't know. I don't think so. If it saves lives, But so we don't care about lives. We care about money and making money. And one of the most fucked up things about America is that everybody supports supports laws that benefit the rich man because they have some retarded, excuse me for saying that, but they have a retarded, dream? They for some reason, they're under the illusion that they're someday going to belong to the rich group. And they don't want to fuck things up for themselves by limiting themselves when they get to that group. So, for example, in America, they have I think an inheritance tax or a wealth tax or something. So when inheritance tax, I think it's called. So if you have like more than $5 million, that's a lot of fucking money. Okay, if you have more than $5 million and you leave that to your children, you have to pay tax, a lot of tax on that, right? And people are upset about that. But like, who the fuck has $5 million? You know how few people have $5 million? Almost nobody. It's like 1%. But I don't know, like 70% of America supports this. They're against this tax. Why? It's just ridiculous. Okay, Blue Ninja X. I used to have fast car. Well, it wasn't that fast. It was a Ford Thunderbird back in high school, and I got it up to 160 miles an hour once. Maxed it out over a bridge in Florida. There was a bridge, and I was just flying over it, and it was so well built. It was a new car. It didn't shake at all. It was like fuck. And then after that, I had a motorcycle. And I would go up to 130, 140 on the motorcycle. But it's a thrill, but, is it really necessary? You can jump out of an airplane. Right? Thank you, Eugenio. Oh, the gun thing, yeah, on account. I don't understand why when Americans hold on to their guns. The whole gun thing is so stupid, and I'll show you something really basic about this whole thing. Where is it? Where is that? Oh, I think it's somewhere else. Just a second. So back in the 70s, when I was growing up, let me see if I can find this. Bill of Rights. Okay. Yes. Let me show you another window. This is stupid, but I'll show it. And this is pointless because it's not gonna. No, I'm not gonna convince anyone, but I'll show it to you anyway. Okay. So let me show you this screen real quick. This is that it? Yeah. Can you guys see that? Oops. How do I do this? Oh, here we go. Yeah. This is the Bill of Rights. The first, second, third amendment. So the Second Amendment is the right to bear arms, right? But if you read that, here it is. It's the right to bear arms. Oh, is this? This is loading up. Okay. Yeah, this is what happened. So let me go back a little bit. If you look at the explanation, it says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So in one sentence, you're saying that it's important to have a well-regulated militia. And that's necessary to have a free state. So the rights of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So for about 200 years, as this explains, everyone understood you had the right to bear arms in a militia. But in 2008, for some reason, the District of Columbia versus Heller, the Supreme Court held that the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to bear arms, to possess a firearm, unconnected with service in militia. And after that, we just lost. I mean, basically, anybody can have a gun for any fucking reason. With no licenses, no training, no background check, there's no computer login, there's nothing. I mean, so it's out of control. Yeah, that's fucked up. I'm just responding to that. So I'm theoretically against the right to bear arms, but I'm a pragmatist. I understand that America is not an island like Japan. Japan has almost no guns. So it would be basically impossible to get rid of all the guns in America. So you got to have them. But I still think that at the very least, and I got to be honest, if everyone had a gun except me, I'd be like, okay, that's not fair. I should maybe get a gun. I don't know. But although there are like these crazy school shootings and stuff that you can't really stop, because if people want to kill other people, they're going to kill other people. But on top of that, there are a bunch of unnecessary deaths that happen every year, gun deaths. And a lot of these could be prevented if people got trained. So anyway, my party's private. Yeah, I don't drive that fast at all anymore. When I was a teenager, my father, being a new American, when I was 14, my parents became naturalized citizens. So I became a naturalized citizen when I was 14, though I lived in America since I was 1. And my father bought a 45 because that's what Clint Eastwood used, right? And we like Clint Eastwood movies. So he bought a 45, brought it home. And my mom, who's very much like my wife, I almost said my wife, right? My mom said, get rid of the gun or we're getting divorced. So 1 week later, my dad sold it. But before he sold it, he took us to a gun range and we shot it once. And it was fun, you know. But, I mean, was it that fun? Is it that fun that I need to have a gun? No. There are a lot of other things you can do. So. Yeah, Funky Kitsune, yeah, I agree. There's no way to get rid of all of them. But you can at least lower the unnecessary deaths by training some people, forcing people to get insurance if they have a gun, things like that. At least registering gun ownership. We don't even have that. It's crazy. I think Comey, back like 5 years ago when Comey was the FBI head, he said it's almost impossible to find out what police officers are doing in every city. There's no accountability. There's no records. Anyway, amendment. That's one thing I wanted to show you. Hold on. What was it? What was the other thing I wanted to show you? Maybe that was it. Yeah, that was it for now. Yeah. Okay. Well. Oh, hold on. Let me check my list. Stop sharing. Okay. I think that was it, but I did make some notes. So let me just look at them. Oh, yeah, there was one more thing. There was one more thing that I thought was kind of interesting but crazy. So I have friends from back in the day, and one of them is a follower of Q. You guys maybe know about Q. Oh, a couple more things. Yeah, 2 things. Okay, one of them was that. The other one was the Q thing. Hold on a second. Just a minute. Hold on here, horses. Where is that? Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, yeah. So this woman, she follows Q, or she's a member of Q. And check this out. You see this? You see this picture? She posted this on her, I think her Facebook or Twitter, I forget. See that? But it shows over here on the left, that's George Floyd with a police officer on his neck. This is apparently May 28th. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if these dates are correct. I don't know if this is true. This could be bullshit. This could be somebody who took 3 pictures and put them up and decided to make some bullshit conspiracy theory. So someone will have to check it out. But this friend, her theory is that this is all by design. Right? She thinks that the real, what's that called? Illuminati or something? I don't know. Whoever controls the world, they've all instructed these 3 men to do these things at about the same time to basically cause chaos throughout the world. And I will admit that if these dates are correct, it is quite a coincidence. And it seems kind of crazy that in this day and age, anybody would still do anything like this. But there you go. That's what she posted. So, whether it's true or not, this has been retweeted dozens of times already. I do notice I have been following a little bit of the right wingers and the Q people just to see. A lot of the stuff they post is easily refutable by just doing a quick Google search. This one, I haven't had time yet. I've only seen this picture. I've done a few Google searches, but I couldn't find anything. Police still spell police in French? Yeah, so there you go. Police. Anyway, that's Minneapolis over there. This is, of course, America. Anyway, I thought that was one thing I wanted to point out to you. The other thing, yeah, we talked about Black Lives Matter already. How to say that? This is horrible. Did you guys see the video of the 75-year-old man pushed to the ground with the blood coming out of his ears? An account, yeah. I don't know. I completely admit to that. That was a horrible, horrible video. And the thing that confused me about that thing was all the cops sorry, the girls keep popping up here. I don't know why. The cops who belong to that group, They all resigned, apparently in protest, which seems crazy to me. And I also question the reasons they resigned. I'm thinking if I were on that group, I would resign because I wouldn't want to be part of the riot police. That's all. But that is the worst video I've seen yet. He hit the ground and blood came out of his ears almost immediately. His name is Martin Gugioni. There you go. And this is a horrible, horrible video. I'm not even going to show it to you, but it's a commercial. But when you get a chance, look for that. It's a disgusting video. Yeah. Anyway, blood. I mean, he hit the ground, and within seconds, blood was pouring out of his ears, like it was a movie, like it looked fake. That's how crazy it is. But there was one more thing that I wanted to point out, and that was this. Where is it? Hold on. No, not that. Not that. Where is it? Not that one. Here we go. Yeah. So, another old YouTube friend, he posted that George Floyd's body was full of drugs, and that this should have some influence on the way you see the scene. But I don't see it as relevant at all. Whether George Floyd was full of cocaine or whatever, or had anything meth in his system, is irrelevant, because in the end, there's no reason to put your knee on the back of someone's head for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. There really isn't. It doesn't matter what that person did. If you're a police officer and you're in control, then you're pretty much done. It was just ridiculous. So I see already that people are trying to find excuses as to why it was okay, but there is no excuse for it, period. Someone wrote in the comments today that 15 black men being killed does not excuse rioting all over the countries. Really? I don't know. I would disagree with that. You've heard this expression that it is better for a guilty man to go free than for a innocent man to be wrongly imprisoned. You've heard something like that, right? And I would say, one man wrongly killed by the government, by the police, that's a reason to fucking raise some hell. Now, it doesn't really help anything. It doesn't matter. I disagree. I do agree that it doesn't help anything. But I do think people should protest, yeah. People should protest. But my party is private. The difference is you cannot control lightning. But there is no reason for our police officers to be killing anybody. Hopefully this will cause. Actually, it is already causing some changes, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm on Google.com here. Hold on. Thanks to all these protests, let me show you something. There was something here. Where is it? Just a minute. Okay, well, advocates are suing LAPD over protest tactics. That's something. Where is it? I can't find it now. Oh, really? It's gone? There was an article here. Where is it? There was an article here about some city, 2 cities actually, that decided that they would ban certain kinds of action towards protesters. And one thing I've never understood is why police officers are so ready to shoot to kill. I know they're trained, if you're going to shoot somebody, shoot to kill them, but why? Why can't you just try shooting someone in the fucking leg? When someone's running at you or from far away, tase them or shoot them in the leg or something. But apparently this has already caused some changes. Well, I can't find it though. Yeah, I don't know. I can't find it. Well, anyway, some police officers are changing the way they handle us. So I think it has helped a little bit already. Yeah, and I've seen a lot of videos of white rioters, looters, ryakudatsu. Okay, guys, I gotta hit the sack. I got videos to make actually too, but I wanted to get on and just talk to you guys about just my thoughts and teach a little Japanese too. I had to do a little research to explain some of these expressions, but anyway, I do appreciate your support. Appreciate the talk. My point is that 15 deaths in a population of 330 million is statistically inevitable. Well, you know what? My party is private. You might be scientifically correct, but you can't help. You know what? Let me explain this to you this way. The same can be said about the COVID, about the coronavirus. A lot of people say, well, it's 1%. Old people, they're going to die anyway. Old people are going to die anyway. I've heard that a lot. My parents are old, man. My dad's 80. My mom's 70. My mom's 36 years old. She's been 36 forever. But if they died because of the coronavirus, I'd still be pretty fucking pissed off. Even though statistically it's kind of inevitable. So you talk about statistically, I'll even agree with you. It's inevitable, but there are people connected to those lives. And if it were your brother or your mother or your sister who died because, they were at the wrong place at the wrong time with a cop with a bad attitude or just had a bad day, or was simply a racist, it's still not right. You're right. I mean, I suppose we could argue that you can't control any of it, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Here's another example of that. Woody Allen in the movie Annie Hall talks about an old joke that Groucho Marx actually made many years ago. It's the opening of the scene, I think, the opening of the movie. He says, this old woman is in a Catskill resort, and she says to another older woman there, she says, the food here is terrible. The other woman says, yeah, and the portions are so small. I said it wrong. The food here is terrible. Yes, and the portions are so small. And that's his attitude about life. Life is a horrible, painful, miserable existence, and it's too short. But if you think about it, if it's so bad, then short is good, right? But no, we want it to last a long time. We need it, So life is pointless and meaningless, but we should still try, even if it's pointless. And in this case too, yeah, maybe it's inevitable that these people are going to be killed, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't try. And in a way, life is meaningless. In a million years, nothing will mean anything, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't try. So, I saw anyone who has a father or a daughter and saw the video of George Floyd with his 6-year-old daughter. I don't know when it was taken, but fairly recently. She's on his shoulders. And he said something like, I just changed the world. She goes, yes, Daddy, you changed the world. Yeah, that's fucked up. He's dead. Yeah, it's sad. But you know what? He is changing the world. So that's one good thing we can say about this. Hopefully some good will come from all of this, and George Floyd's death will change America in some way. Anyway, okay. Well, I've babbled on long enough. I'll have my last, I think I'm almost done with this bottle of whiskey. It's good stuff, Old Par, 12-year-old. Whoops. I'm enjoying making Japanese for Morons videos, so I will be making more soon. I'm working on a kind of a new project on this channel. You'll see. Yeah, not including the people who died in those riots. Yeah, that's sad too, actually. I mean, no, I mean, I don't. I feel I'm being dismissive, but a lot of people have died on both sides, police and civilians. I guess you could argue that's inevitable too, but it didn't have to be. You know, for some reason, people buy these bottles. I don't know why. I guess they're nice looking bottles, but why would you want to buy one? Only enough for 2 shots in there. Thank you, Simply Kathy H. But I'm winding down. Almost done. I'm going to watch myself some Community TV show. One of my favorite TV shows. I'm going to go to bed. Had a very active day. Took my kids for a 3-hour walk today to the park. Play with them. But you know what? My party is private. Black communities have been hurting forever. This is going to hurt too. But maybe in the end it'll cause some good too. You can only hope. I don't know. The protests have been co-opted partially, but not entirely. Maybe. All right, I've gone off. Thanks, guys. Keep your eye on this channel. If you're new to the channel, this is the Japanese for Morons channel. I want to get this channel back up to a regular schedule, and I feel like I can make more content on a channel that's dedicated to education, even if I go off on these rants. And I mean, I did teach you some Japanese, right? Kokujin no inochi mo taisetsu da. Black Lives Matter. Talk to you guys soon.